is the Big O Show. This 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 is the Big O Show. This
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
Oh, great. You have a doorbell camera. Now you have a front row seat to your house getting robbed.
They're breaking into my house!
Ooh, there goes the TV. I'm sure it'll turn up at the pawn shop.
No, not the TV!
Just because you can see them, that doesn't mean you can stop them. With Slogans, you get 24-hour monitoring, a free home security system, and professional installation. Plus, free doorbell camera, one that'll actually work for you.
Get out of my house!
Get out of the house! Call 1-800-ALARM-ME.
More tables, more entertainment.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. following statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyAccess.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty, welcome aboard. It is time for the show. We are rocking and rolling live from Hialeah Park. Like always, it's Thursday, it's 3 o'clock. This is where you can normally catch us Thursdays at 3 o'clock on average. Not that everybody has figured that out, but, you know, it's all right. Yeah, I had a guy early on in the chat board after it was posted. He's like, isn't he supposed to be on now? No. And we are on whenever we want to be on. We're not supposed to. We don't answer to anybody. But anyway, too funny. It happens every Thursday. Anyway, so it's just hilarious. What is it? All Miami. There you go. All Miami. Isn't he supposed to be on now? That's what it's all about. Supposed to. Aren't the Heat supposed to try in the regular season? Isn't InterMiami supposed to win with that kind of elite talent on their side and stupidity? Well, when you have stupidity, that will always set you. See, life is hard. It's harder when you're stupid. Got to steal an old Jim Mad Dog Mandich line. Life is hard. It's harder when you're dumb. So, yeah, basically that's what it is. We'll get to that also with InterMiami, and the level of stupidity of that franchise is, you know, money can't erase everything. You got to have some intelligence, and they have none there, unfortunately, the way they handle things. Anyway, so we'll get to that one. We got to talk about last night because it wasn't good last night. It continues to be exactly what we talked about, that Butler looks like he's toast. It's been one of the great runs in Heat history, right? Without a title. You know, outside of the Timmy Zoe years, these are the other years that you would say, without a title, that you would call some of the best times for Miami Heat fans. But the ride is over. And, you know, I love the blind ass fan, right? Because the blind ass, oh, no, Jimmy's going to turn it on. And Jimmy would have turned it on already. And as we've been talking about here on the show, I'm afraid. I hope I'm wrong. And I hope I am wrong. Seriously, I hope I'm wrong. Just like I wish I was wrong that Bam wasn't a star. Really, I wish I was wrong about that. But, you know, I'm not even close to being wrong on that. The super role player thing is so on target, it's not even funny. But anyway, he can't turn it on anymore. He can't be playoff Jimmy anymore. Something happened. He doesn't have the legs anymore. It's just he doesn't have that desire, that fire. The guy that we've been spoiled with, you know, Father Time. It's one of those things. You don't know when it's going to happen, and it looks like it's already happened. Every time you've needed him to put on the cape, there's no cape to be found. He's not running into a phone booth. And it's been awesome. And he's been fantastic. And it's been great. But I think it's over now. I think it's over. This team, I mean, last night there were two stars on the court. None of them named Jimmy Butler. You do know that, right? Last night, did you see the explosion? Those guys coasted in the second half. After Kyrie and Luka just tore him apart in the first half, it was like, wow, these guys aren't even close to our. And they pretty much coasted. I know they cut it down to like 8 or something, but come on, dude. They were toying with them in the second half. The Heat's trying, and they made their run without Butler and Bam. Right?
It got worse once they got back in the game.
Right. One without their, what used to be a star, and then without the other guy, some of you fraudulently would label a star. It's this team is toast. I'm sorry. There's no way. You want to be a blind ass fan? You go ahead. Like I had some idiot on Instagram, and it's like, bro, are you watching what's going on? Oh, Jimmy will be fine. He's good. Are you watching it? Are you watching it? The run's over. The run is over. So unless the guys around Jimmy all of a sudden have like career moments, I don't know how you're going to make a run in the playoffs. This team will barely survive the play-in. And that's about as far as it goes. If it survives the play-in, it then gets eliminated after that. But this is not a team that you can trust anymore, unfortunately. It's a shame because there's nothing about them that looks like what we saw the last couple of years, unfortunately. And that's because your main guy is not your main guy anymore. You know, that's the sad part. Jimmy at no point has been able to be a superstar. None whatsoever. And watching that last night, that was painful to watch, right? They looked so overmatched. It was ridiculous, dude. It was embarrassing to watch what I saw last night.
Driving here, I was listening to On Crowd, and they're actually talking, believe it or not, sports, because Solana with the Heat thing, and he said that one of the things was the last 3 games have been some of the most important games, and all 3 of them.
Right.
I mean, last game,
we've talked about that.
Bam and Jimmy didn't even score in the last 7 minutes of regular time, and neither of the overtime. Like, your stars need to step up.
One star. We got to stop with the Bam thing.
The guys you expect to play well should be playing better than well now, and they're not even playing well.
Well, I've never seen Bam take over offensively.
No, he never takes over offensively, but he usually will give you a good game, not 8 points on 1 of 19 shooting or whatever it was.
And last night he was terrible too. What was he? 3 of 13 last night.
It was. I think he had 8 points total, and it's like it's one of those things to where this is the time where they need to be getting better and in sync, and it seems like it's getting worse than getting better.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on, but I don't know how anybody has any confidence whatsoever in the Miami Heat this season and in Jimmy Butler. And again, this is nothing negative against Jimmy Butler or anything like that. It's been an awesome run. It has been way better than any of us ever imagined. But we have to be honest here. You know what I mean? And this thing is over, dude. I mean, this thing is as over as it gets, and I feel pretty comfortable telling you that it's over. Do I want it to be over? Hell no. But I don't see it. I don't see it at all. And that the one performance after another, and it's pathetic. It really is. It's pathetic. That was like what I saw last night was unacceptable. And the question is, after this ends, you got 2 more years of that deal. 2 more years. There's no way they give him an extension. No way they give him an extension. And if you give him an extension, then that's basically suicide for the franchise. Because if you 15, 20 million just to, as a thank you. No, dude, that's a lot of money that he's going to take up space. The guy's getting paid 40, 50. He's getting overpaid right now. He's been severely overpaid this year. So it last night was just depressing. I mean, Jimmy Butler took 8 shots last night, dude. 8 shots. The second that Dallas took off, it was a mismatch right from the get-go. That was terrible. Tyler played all right. Shot 6 of 15. 2 of 5 from three-point range. Kevin Old Ass Love basically carried you by hitting all those three-pointers. It's a shame. Now, listen, it happens to every player out there. At one point or another, the wheels fall off, and you're no longer the guy you used to be. And it just looks like this is it here for Jimmy Butler, unfortunately. And for the Heat, too, because without Jimmy being Jimmy, there's no way you're going to make a deep run. You need that nasty-ass Jimmy Butler that does not exist anymore. And that's what I have to say, by the way. It does not exist anymore. Until I have not witnessed it all season, and especially in the last month, that you desperately needed some wins, nothing whatsoever. So the silliness of fans thinking, oh, no, it'll be fine. They'll turn it on in the postseason. That's where fans cross the threshold of proving that they know nothing. Okay? Because now you get your emotions and you become a fan and you're just rooting for something, but you're not looking at, did they come back from 8th seed every year? No, right? That was just last year. And it was flukish. And people don't do that. And I doubt they're going to do it again. And to think that what you're watching now is going to all of a sudden turn it on and start playing like they played last year, that's asinine. It really is. Now, it's going to be a tough 2 years coming up because wow. This is going to be a mediocre team unless some of these young guys become stars. And right now, there's a chance, but nobody's there yet. Jamie Zorria out in San Jose is in the house. A little roll call. NorCal is in. He says, I'll be in the FinLaw gym when you kick it off. Crypto Fins is in, just sitting back waiting for the best show on YouTube. Thank you, sir. Gus1388. Ray Sosa, halftime adjustments, substitutions, undisciplined team from Tata. Oh yeah, we'll get to that clown show too. Captain Saki is in. Bad weather today. That means I get to sit back and enjoy the live show. Well, thank you, Captain Saki. That's very cool of you. He's in Tarpon Springs. How about that geriatric soccer club? Wow, that is. We'll get to it. It was bad. Saw on Twitter and didn't believe it at first, but it was true. Tata Martino has a slightly worse winning percentage than Phil Neville. Yeah. Tata's, there's nothing about Tata that's been impressive so far. Omar Lopez, One-Eyed Jack, Lisa Rose, John Padilla is in the Bay Area. Brian Landis, Dolphin, 5413 is in Charlotte, North Carolina. Cubs is in. Steven Gonzalez. Inter as a franchise makes boneheaded decisions to where the players make them, as we saw with Drake Callender. Wow, that wasn't normal of Drake, bro. And David Ruiz and Gomez the past few games, yeah. Well, that's on Tata. Look, last night, InterMiami lost. They were embarrassed, thoroughly embarrassed by Monterrey. The old guys didn't really look like they had the legs. And this ends up becoming a terrible look for the franchise. First of all, you're a stupid franchise for having the preseason that you had. You injured Messi in that process because you were thinking that traveling around the world to start a season, it makes a lot of sense only because you're money grabbing. So now you injure Messi. Messi plays on a Saturday in a meaningless MLS game. Yeah, it's early in the season. You're in second or third in the standings. You're not at the bottom of the standings like last year that you had like 8 games left and you have to like run the table. No, dude, there's like 28 games left, 26 games left, whatever. You got so much time. They needed the rest. They weren't supposed to play Saturday and then travel to Monterrey and play at 10:30 at night because their body clocks, it's 10:30. You do know that, right? InterMiami CF is a stupid football club. Okay? They should be SF. It should be InterMiami SF. Stupid football. That's all. I can't add any more. You're a freaking moron. You play Messi on Saturday so you could travel on Wednesday when he's coming off a hamstring injury. You're a dumbass. Tata Martino hasn't shown me jack shit, dude, the entire season. You got Campana, you got Taylor. You don't use them enough so you can rest your older guys. I mean, you got a whole MLS season. You said you were going to focus on CONCACAF. Well, you know how you do that? You actually take care of your players and keep them fresh for those matches. They constantly do stupid things in that franchise. And it from day one they were doing when they had like 5 DPs when they were only allowed to have 3. And then they got fined and then they had limitations for a couple of years. It really is amazing to me that you have all the money because the Moss brothers have all the money. But my Lord, there is no intelligence. It's just, hey, let's throw money at everything and we'll erase every problem with money. But we're not thinking about strategy. We're actually not thinking of preservance of our players, extending the life of our players, keeping them as fresh as possible. No, let's build a team that's heavy offense, no defense. That franchise, the level of stupidity that they constantly show, it's baffling, dude. It's baffling how freaking stupid they are over there. Guess I won't be welcomed over there, right? Okay, probably not. Don't really care anyways. Everybody can kiss my ass. That's not something I really worry about. I'm going to tell it like it is. Whether you're the Marlins or whether you're InterMiami or the Dolphins or whatever. But all I see from InterMiami is so much incompetence. And that's why you're constantly going to chase your tail, dude. And by the way, this is a terrible look because after Messi ran his mouth the week before when Monterrey was here and threatening and trying to intimidate, which, by the way, they're being fined for that. They're really good at getting fined for stupidity. It's another thing about this franchise. So after all this shit you talked, you didn't back up 1 second of it, dude. Not 1 second. So, you know what you witnessed last night, right? One of the top choke jobs in the history of South Florida sports. So, InterMiami front office and ownership, check it out, baby. From a historian right here that's pretty much seen every sport, every game, right here. You guys own some of the most embarrassing moments in South Florida sports history. Last night was one of them. All that money, all that talent. You can't build the right team. You can't manage a team. And you can't even play right. You can't even find a good coach. Well, are we going to our fourth coach next year? Is it fourth or fifth? Fourth. Amazing. Yeah, wasn't there a guy just holding the spot in between Neville and there was? So 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go to our fifth coach. Because it would be really stupid keeping Tata. So it would be really stupid because I haven't seen a damn thing that I would say, oh, I got to keep Tata Martino around. Oh my God, he is so phenomenal. I mean, seriously, dude, that was, and I stayed up for that shit last night. That's the other thing. I stayed up for that shit last night. InterMiami made me stay up for that last night. Well, at least they got the garbage goal. Embarrassing, dude. Embarrassing. That franchise is an embarrassment. Considering all the resources you have. Seriously. Pretty pathetic. So that's my 2 cents on this $2 billion mistake called InterMiami CF. How about Inter playing like the Heat? Well, you know what? At least the Heat has accomplished something, and we know, Frankie, that it's just Jimmy running out of gas now. It's life taking over at this point. But Inter hasn't accomplished shit. You know what I mean? At least Jimmy, he's going to leave his legacy here, and it's going to be a great legacy. Might be ugly at the end, but he's still going to leave you with amazing memories. You know what I'm saying? Put it this way. He's done more than Messi ever has in South Florida sports. So I see, we got to deal with the ugliness that's coming with the Heat, but it's understandable. You understand? The Inter stuff, it's unexplainable. It just is. It's sickening. What do you got?
Can't you say Messi gave us one, whatever, is it a championship? I don't know what you would call it in soccer. I don't know that.
League's Cup.
We got the League's Cup. I mean, they got the CONCACAF. I mean, he's delivered on something.
I think you won CONCACAF more than League's Cup. I think you'd rather go to the NBA Finals a couple times than the League's Cup. I think you'd rather go to the Eastern Conference Finals than the League's Cup. The League's Cup is good enough for a doorstop. Another gridiron legend gone, Franco, Jim Brown. Oh, God, now you're going to mention the Juice? Bro, good riddance. Who gives a shit that piece of crap died? I don't have any sympathy for him, dude. I'm not going to have any sympathy for him, And by the way, Franco went a little overboard to defending his pedophile little coach. So, he defended that Paterno was protecting the pedophile. Anything to save football. Wasn't happy about Franco at that moment. Maybe it would have been the same thing if the brothers bought the Marlins. I don't know. But at least
we'd have Judge and Stanton and Trout and Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah. He'd buy stars. Yeah, that's true. He'd buy stars. Yeah.
He might bring Clemens back. You never know. They're into the older players, so.
So Tata blaming MLS rules about the roster, he is wrong. Tata saying the youngsters are not ready is on him. That's right. Frankie, everything's on Tata. So Tata gets 0 breaks here, dude. Tata's a bum. As far as I'm concerned, all I see is a bum on the sidelines with gray hair. That's all I see. I don't see shit there, dude. I see a turd with legs walking around giving no contributions to that team whatsoever. Nothing to the young people. Nothing whatsoever. He is pathetic. What up from DC? Dolphins take Cooper DeJean at 21, or DeJean. It's about money with Inter. No, it certainly ain't about intelligence. Daniel Berry is in the house. Don't waste my time with the Marlins, Panthers, and Inter. Well, Papa, sorry about you, brother, but I'm an all-sports guy. And I like music and entertainment and crypto and stuff, so not a show for you, my man. If you're sticking around for one sport, maybe you're better off coming back and just picking and choosing segments. Ocala Joe is in the house. And if you don't know one rule on this show, you don't make any. I make them all. Okay? So we talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about. So you're either on for the ride or get the hell off. We got that, Papa? Good afternoon, Big O. Ocala Joe says, still fighting with Coinbase over my 10 grand, but it's still all good. Looking forward to another good show. I don't get it. What are you fighting about? It's weird. Buy and get your crypto off these exchanges. On a side note, AEW was worse than InterMiami. I don't know.
It's one of those things where they say they're going to show something, they show it, and everybody's going,
no big deal.
Oh, that's what I thought was going to happen. And it's, again, one of those things to where the owner owns the company using emotion instead of smarts, and it's starting to unravel bit by bit.
Oh, serious question. Would Riley even consider trading Jimmy this offseason? Troy, nobody would want Jimmy. He'd love to trade Jimmy. Nobody's going to want that contract. He's owed like $100 million in the next 2 years, dude. And he can't even play 40 games in a season. He doesn't even play. He doesn't play 40 games. He may be on the court for like 60, 65 or whatever, but 30 of those he's not even playing.
Just like last night, once they got out to the lead, what did he take? 8 shots, he said? Something like that?
He did shit last night. He took the night off again last night. You know what I'm saying? Nobody, Troy, nobody wants Jimmy Butler at all. At all. Nobody's going to tolerate him. Nobody's going to pay that money for a guy that does not produce anymore. He doesn't help you get to the postseason. He did not help the Heat again this year. That's why they're barely in the postseason. That's why I've been telling fans over and over again, if you think that you're just going to trade, you're like, you have no concept of reality. That's completely being a fan and having no sense of reality that there is no chance anyone wants Jimmy Butler. None. He's useless at this point. Until further notice, I see pretty much a useless $50 million player because the guy doesn't even try. So, no shot that they could ever move him. They're stuck with that salary for 2 more years. What I never want to hear is an extension. You better not extend it. We'll talk to Ira in a couple minutes here. Jimmy Butler has done more with less, yes. And it's been a great run. Now it's over. Carl Lawson visited the Finns. Would be a cool addition. Yeah. It's interesting with Carl Lawson because he didn't get a lot of playing time last year. And then the year before, when he played 17 games, he picked up 7 sacks, which was his second best year since his rookie year. So you wonder, here you're not going to have Chubb and Phillips for a while. You use him, it might be a decent addition. So you might be right on that. Heat are playing like the Looney Tunes. Yeah, basically. Yep. Never mind, no disrespect to the Toon Squad. They actually played better. They are keeping me from sending it to my Tangent wallet, and they say it's for my security, but won't say more. Oh, wait a minute. Do you have to have it? Maybe you have to have it on the exchange for a certain amount of time. Did they tell you that? And then after a certain amount of days, you'll be able to move it. That's what it should be, because that is it's got to be illegal for you not to be able to move your crypto wherever you want to move it. That doesn't make sense, Joe. I don't like that. Nobody's ever restrained me. Now, I don't really use Coinbase much. I use more crypto.com and Kraken. And I buy directly on my Tangent wallet, sometimes too. All right, let's do it, huh? Yeah, he says that's why I'm saying that. No, but the 10 grand, yeah, it's true. I mean, I've never had the luxury of moving 10 grand. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm not Ocala Joe there. Yeah, that's actually, I forgot about that. I may move a couple $100 there, but 10, a couple grand, 10,000, 20. Yeah, no, I'm not that dude. That would take me a long time to kind of really build that up. But yeah, maybe it's a certain amount of time or something. But that's weird, man. That doesn't make sense. Just doesn't. All right, let's do it. Let's talk a little basketball. Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat, and NBA reports.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines, Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
Ira.
Can we talk crypto instead? Because I just moved 10 G's, and I need to get your thoughts on that. I'm dead.
I know. No, it's just and like I told you, listen, man, it was a great run, and it just unfortunately looks like it's over. And you're in the locker rooms. I know they didn't want to be in the locker rooms with you guys yesterday, but it's sad, man. It's sad because it's been such a phenomenal run, as somebody posted on the chat board a little bit ago, and they're right. Nobody's done more with less than Jimmy Butler has, but it's also doing more with less has kind of taken its toll on you. And, I find it really cute when fans tell me, no, he'll turn it on in the playoffs. And it's like, brother, they've needed the cape here for the last month, and he can't go to the phone booth to get it. And, you're watching last night, and there were 2 stars on the court. None of them were for the Heat. And it just looked like they coasted in that second half. It was painful to watch, Ira.
You know what? I save and archive my Acura Pembroke Pines report. So I went back and listened, not really, but just talking figuratively, to last year at this exact same time, when the Heat fell into the play-in, when they were going nowhere, when Max Strus and Gabe Vincent weren't good enough, when Jimmy Butler didn't play enough games, when Tyler Hero didn't prove it the year before in the playoffs. So it's the same thing. It's and that's why Big O.
He looks bad right now, Ira.
I know, but the Heat have looked this bad before. Now, the one thing I'll agree with, you pointed out about how much they're putting on Jimmy Butler's plate and how it's weighing him down.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it a different way. I think Jimmy Butler is weighing the Heat down right now for this reason. Okay. If you're going to keep telling your team, it's not important, it doesn't matter. Look, you can have a veteran team where you have guys like Wade and Bosh and LeBron, and they know what it's all about. But you and I have spoken all year. This is a younger team. This is Nikola Jovic. This is Jaime Jaquez Jr. This is still a relatively young Tyler Hero. You have young pieces. And if they see a guy who only shows up some of the time, and then yesterday, yes, Bam was not good, but Jimmy was not efforting last night. And you see that. So you sort of see a team and a leader and a walkabout. That's the problem right now with Jimmy Butler. He might not have the lift. He might be exhausted. I get all of that. But he has to play at a different emotional fervor to bring the group together, his favorite word, to get them to coalesce. And they're not right now. And that's the problem with having such a unique leader. He will never be a rah-rah type, but he can be the type that could at least lead the emotional charge. There's no UD. God bless Kevin Love for who he is, but he's an ancillary player. Same thing with Patty Mills as a veteran.
Shit, Kevin Love kept it at least like, kept them like within at least some kind of a striking distance yesterday.
He was by far the best Heat player in the second half yesterday.
Wow,
And
he
he
saved their asses,
offered
man.
encouragement that if Bam plays like Bam, there is support right now, and they can have that taken care of like they did last season in the playoffs. But that's the one thing. They can talk all they want after the game. We have the emotion. We want to be there. This is meaningful. Show it in the game. Don't get down early like you did in Indy. I asked Tyler this after the game, not to pick on anyone. Not a lot of guys spoke. Jimmy declined to speak. But I said in the last 3 games that it's almost like these all-star voting. In the last 3 games that essentially counted double, the Philadelphia game, the Indiana game, the Dallas game, where both teams had major stakes in the game, the Heat wilted. Yes, they came back against Indy, but we all know about late comebacks in sports. Yes, they played competitive, same thing against Philly, but it was too much at the end at home. And last night, it just never got closer than 8 points in the second half. There wasn't anything there. Look, it's the number you've seen Big O everywhere. They're 0-10 against the top 5 teams in the West, 0-3 against the Celtics. So against the 6 best teams in the NBA, they're 0-13. It is hard, as I've spoken on these Accurate Pembroke Pines report, to project something when you have no sample size that you've been able to do it.
And that's my point. We saw playoff Jimmy at times last year. That guy's been completely MIA this year. And so I get it when, he took games off and all that kind of stuff. But this year became a little bit worse than it was last year. And then what's around him, that malaise has kind of grown from last year.
Yeah.
And then you kind of got spoiled because of the success of last year. You're almost like, hey, we can do it again. And you and I have been watching a lot of basketball throughout our lives. 8 seeds don't do this often.
No, but this team
rare
did last
stuff.
year. The one thing I don't understand is not as much people in your business, but people in social media. We can also just wait. In other words, we can write all the epitaphs we want. We can write the obituary, but the corpse still has a pulse right now. It's the old Monty Python, I'm not dead yet kind of deal up on the cross. It's the same kind of thing in a different spirit. We will know when we will know. And that's the one thing about this team. I won't know till I know. Can they go to Philly and win a playoff game? I sure as hell would not think so if Joel Embiid and Tyrese Maxey are at the top of their game. Can they come back home next Friday and lose to Atlanta? Sure. If Trae Young goes off or if DeJounte Murray goes off, they could lose a game like that. Could they wind up losing a game like Chicago? Sure, they could wind up losing a game like that if DeMar DeRozan goes off. So, yeah, the risks are very real for the Heat, but they also could win those games. Sean, am I still on and Big O off or vice versa? Anyone? Well, I will wait here a few minutes to be joined by Big O. There you are.
There we go. I think we're back now.
I lost you there for a second, my friend.
Yes. Yeah, you did on that last question. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, so what I was trying to say is you just don't know.
Right.
Should they lose in Philadelphia to Maxey and to Embiid? Of course. They'll have the 2 best players on the court, all due respect to Jimmy and Bam, but that's the way it's been this year. You lose that game, you come home, maybe you get the Hawks. Trae Young can win a game on his own. We've seen it. DeJounte Murray can win a game on his own. He did it at Kaseya Center this year. And 2-point DeMar DeRozan has the grit and toughness, probably more Jimmy Butler-like this year than Jimmy Butler. So, yeah, the Heat are absolutely up against it. There's a couple of scenarios. They wind up in different seeds. We'll see it. Let it play out, because the one thing the Heat have shown us is doubt them at their own risk, and then we'll write the obituary.
Oh, yeah,
it's going to be a hell of an obituary.
Definitely. But this one I have to openly doubt. I have to say I'm really concerned about what I'm seeing with the Heat this year, and especially with Jimmy Butler, because I have not seen, Jimmy Buckets, man. And I know that if he was himself in the last month, he would have turned it on a couple times, because that's who he is.
Okay, but Big O, what if What if he's his 34-year-old self? In other words, we've seen 31-year-old Jimmy Butler in the bubble. We've seen 32-year-old Jimmy Butler in the conference finals against the Celtics. We've seen 33-year-old Jimmy Butler in the NBA finals. But you know this. It all happens to us. Big O, I don't know when it happened to you. But there's a point. There's a moment you get old, and all of a sudden you get out of bed, and it just doesn't feel the same. Everyone has that moment. And in sports, it happens like that. How many times, year to year, Big O, in any sport, pick your sport, pick it football or baseball or hockey, and you look at a guy a season later and you say, he got old in a hurry. It happened. I hope it's not the moment for Jimmy. Although maybe if it is, then he doesn't have to worry about an extension. But you just wonder if that moment has already happened. I need proof. And you know what, Big O? Proof can't come against the go-nowhere Raptors. So if we're sitting here next week in our Accurate Pay report, and you're going to me, Ira, Jimmy was great against the Raptors. They're back. No, you don't prove it against a team that doesn't give a rat's ass about winning. That's the problem. The problem is you had showcases against the Sixers, showcases against the Pacers, showcase against the Mavericks. That's when I needed to see it. So we are going into the play-in or the postseason or the playoffs with nothing to grasp on because these two next games against the Raptors, they're not going to tell us anything.
Yeah, no, they're not. But that's the reason why I'm concerned, because I think if we would have had the real Butler, he would have shown up a couple times this past month to put them into that 6th spot at least. And that's why I'm terrified. I think this is just going to be a really ugly postseason. I hope I'm wrong. I really, truly hope I'm wrong. Jovic, obviously he has shown some moments, and moments of immaturity too. Like I witnessed last night at times when he gets called for penalties and stuff. He's kind of, he's and then there was one moment where he was having a small disagreement with his teammate about some responsibility or something like that. I forgot what it was specifically. So talk to me a little bit about Jovic, because that's one guy that, man, he becomes more and more intriguing to me.
Intriguing in the regular season, intriguing with his growth. He is a very intriguing 20-year-old. Yeah. I still don't know if Eric Playoff Spoelstra, we see how he changes in the playoffs, is willing to trust him. Right. So it would not shock me if they come out in the playoffs and all of a sudden Caleb Martin is a starting power forward. All of a sudden Jovic's minutes are cut. But if we're talking year 1 to year 2 growth, I know it's not on the award-winning level.
I'm talking macro is what I'm
talking.
But
he is the Miami Heat's most improved player this season. That's all you want to see in the jump from year 1 to year 2. He's an NBA player. He can do something. He can be your starting four. Maybe with Bam being undersized, you need him as your starting four. So God bless Eric Spoelstra for, in the middle of all this chaos, he still found time to develop someone. He still found a way to take a step forward with the younger players. And now, Big O, you say to yourself, well, if you have Jovic, who's young, and you have Jaquez, who's young, going through a wall, but that's fine. You have Hero, who's young, but has shown the last few games that came back, he's still a bucket. Maybe you do look at Jimmy and you say, you know what? We're not going to take that whole step back like to the lottery. We're not going to do that. But maybe we move Jimmy for a couple of other young pieces, a Miles Bridges and a draft choice or two. And
they're going to want him? Who's going to want his ass?
You know what? A team that is close, but not close enough. A team like the Knicks, if they don't get there. A team like the Mavericks, if this doesn't work out in the competitive West. I would posit this to you. Jimmy Butler, I think, would be the perfect complement for Jalen Brunson. Ball-dominant guard and a guy who doesn't need the ball. The Knicks keep talking about Donovan Mitchell. That's two guys who want the ball. Jimmy would provide the defense there. Jimmy would stay out of the way, and he sure as hell would be bring the playoff savvy. If Kyrie and Luka Doncic don't get out of the first round against the Clippers, Jimmy's a perfect complement for Luka Doncic. Again, a low usage player who still can do it when needed, but won't get in the way of your star. There are always desperate teams who go, look, I know Jimmy is 34. I know he wants an extension. I'm not buying his future, but I'm willing to pay for a year or two. You see it all the time in sports.
Yeah, I hope that what are you hearing back there? No more extensions, right? We're done with that, right?
I'm going to be honest. No one's going to hear that because one, Jimmy's people aren't going to ask about an extension during the season. The Heat don't have to address it. But we're seeing what's playing out. You come to the table with something. There's nothing to come to the table with, but if he gets him to the Eastern Conference Finals, then you have something to come to the table with. So you know what, Big O? If me, maybe before the game on Friday, mentioning extensions to Jimmy motivates him, hey, it'll work for Jimmy. It'll work for Heat Nation. That'll be fine. I think Jimmy has to know that if he doesn't get something done in the playoffs, and this turns back into 2021 against the Bucks when it was horrible, he'll know to back off. There won't be extension talk. There can't be because of the way it ended. But if there's a playoff run and Jimmy is anything close to 3 of the last 4 years, then God bless him. I try to get my last pint of blood also.
No, definitely. If he all of a sudden puts on the cape and he does it again,
sure,
then you're going to have to say, well, he did it again. What are we going to do? It is what it is.
Right.
He's been one of your 2 most consistent players. You talk about most improving Jovic. This is the most improved player in the last couple of years in Duncan Robinson. Are they regretting? I get why they had to bring him back because you needed him because he's been doing so well. Did they regret bringing him back a little too soon? Because the poor kid never looked like himself when he came back.
You know what? I think that's the kind of back injury. If you brought him back soon or you didn't bring him back soon, he wasn't going to be right anyway. Right. So am I counting on Duncan Robinson these last 2 games? No, I don't care if they upgrade
you don't need him. No, don't do that. No,
am I counting on him for the play-in? No, and then you wait and see. But as we know, with these kind of lingering back injuries, not like Terry Rozier's neck spasms when he sleeps wrong and he has a crick in his neck. You're talking about lingering back issue. It's a problem. My question is this, and Big O, you know this. Oftentimes, people who have back problems will always have lingering back problems. And that becomes a concern about getting the right course of treatment. A guy like Ben Simmons has had back problems and he barely shows up. Hope it's not that way for Duncan, because you know what? Duncan Robinson went from a negative contract to all of a sudden 5 years, $90 million. Okay, that's worth it. He's been that contributor. Duncan had a really good season for the Heat this year.
The Duncan's a steal now. He's an absolute steal.
He's requisitely paid as a team's 4th or 5th most relied on player. I'd agree with that.
Yeah, he is a steal. It's the whole Goran Dragic contract all over again. They paid him I think it was like 70. Really? And then like 2 years later, like, yeah, dude, no, that's the going rate, bro. He's fine. That's is what
money.
it is.
You're correct about that.
Yeah, it's just one of those type of deals, and I don't really have a problem with that. I hope it continues, but at least Tyler has come back with a little fire, and I wonder if but I wonder if maybe personally he kind of gets to the point where he's also frustrated with, because he doesn't want to get injured. Right. Nobody wants to get injured, but obviously he's got the worst luck in the world, and he's constantly getting injured. So I almost feel like there's a little volcano that built up in him the way he's playing. That's all I'm saying.
I know, and also that the canvas is there for him, because if Jimmy's going to play like that, there's going to be lots of shots for him. If Jaime Jaquez is going to struggle like he is, there's going to be lots of shots for him. If Terry Rozier, who was hurting on Sunday, missed the last 2, isn't there, there's going to be a lot of shots. Big O, here's my concern. We're going to get to the end of the regular season, and I can't answer one of the most important questions of the season. Can Tyler Hero coexist with Terry Rozier, or are they too similar that it becomes an either-or situation? I really would have liked to know that going into the offseason, because you know what? Terry has a very tradable contract also. I know it sounds cruel, but he does. And there is money that can be flipped, and he is an attractive player. What I don't know right now is, can Tyler and Terry coexist? The sample size is fractional minutes so far.
Yes. The only thing I would say is that I think with Terry, and it's kind of what I expected actually with him, because a lot of people were like, well, sometimes when he's on, but when he's off and all that. And one of the things I was thinking, but Terry will become a better basketball player here.
Correct.
And I think that's what's happening now in the last couple of games. If you watch him, I think he will become a better player, a more efficient player. And as a point guard, I like him running my team more than I like Tyler running my team. And he brings an edge to his game, which, and
I like it. And it's impulsive. But you know what, Big O? Sometimes too many impulsive players are a concern also.
I know, but it's fearless too. And I also like that about him. I really like this edition, actually. I actually think that this edition has been a good one. And with the Tyler thing, until I see you around for a while, I can't trust you ever again, kid. I just can't.
And I don't know if there's going to be a while. Tomorrow's game back will be his Houston 2-3, will be his 4th game back, 5th game back. So you're talking about Tyler Hero might end the season if they don't get out of the play-in, having played just 8 games after missing 20. So you don't get a sense of, is there an extended run in him? Because there won't be an extended run. Man, this team really needs the playoffs for 2 things. Obviously, to have a chance to win something, but to answer so many questions.
Yes. Yeah, definitely. It's one of them. And by the way, kudos to Highsmith, who must be going through a personal hell because of everything that went on. And he's fought through all of that, bro. And he's compartmentalized his life and his career. And he's done a beautiful job of balancing it.
And he's shown how important a complimentary player is.
Yes.
And unfortunately, Orlando Alzagari, he's an unrestricted free agent after the season. So again, you're going to have that same question you had with Max Strus and Gabe Vincent.
Yeah.
How much do you pay a complimentary piece when the bottom line is that Haywood Highsmith is probably no more than your 9th or 10th man? So there are tough decisions ahead.
Yeah, but I just give him credit because a lot of guys could have gone into some kind of a shell and, oh my God, this happened to me and all that, and that he gets on their minds, and he's done a great job of balancing those two things because he's a terrific person, and obviously went through something that could happen to any of us.
Anyone, right?
Anyone, man. It's just a bad night.
There was a tragic accident, and just and there are consequences to our actions, unfortunately. But you know what? He has owned up to it. He felt terrible about it, and he has moved on in his career while still being the person he is. So I hope for the best for all involved in this situation.
I admire his toughness. By the way, what'd you read into last night when they did make a run? It was without Bam and Jimmy.
Because they were terrible. Because they were just like, I just need something more. But you know what, Big O? After that double overtime game, again, you make Tuesday hard on yourself. You pay for it Wednesday. If you get going in those games and you don't put yourselves in those situations, you'd be more rested. Yesterday was an older team running on fumes. And why is this team running on fumes? Because there's desperation in the last week of the season. Why is there desperation in the last week of the season? Because a certain player took a third of the season off.
Yeah, no, you're right. And as I said the night before, Dallas scored 130 in regulation. Miami scored 117 in double overtime. So, and last night you saw how free-flowing and easy the offense came.
You saw what alphas are, and the Heat do not have an alpha. Correct.
Yeah. What do you got going on in the Sentinel?
I broke down the 2 remaining playoff scenarios that get them out of the play-in. Highly unlikely, but hey, we get to scoreboard watch. It looks like it's going till Sunday. Very interestingly, if the Heat do wind up as seeded right now playing the Sixers in the play-in game, the NBA official schedule has it for Tuesday. It can't be. The Flyers have their home finale against Washington, so that will be moved to Wednesday. Could be as early as 5 or 5:30. Obviously, the Sixers thought there was no way they were going to be in the play-in when they put their schedule together, let the Flyers have that date. So the NBA has a bit of work ahead, and it could create real congestion for the Heat. Possibly could mean go to Philly, win that game, and just fly straight to Milwaukee and get ready for a Saturday opener. So the scheduling will be interesting. The upcoming schedule is interesting. There's a lot at play. The other story I just posted was Tyler Hero's small sample size, but man, he's looked good since he's come back.
One more thing before I let you go.
Sure.
I meant to ask you this. In Spo's comments yesterday, he said, we know we have a way that we can play, but it takes a certain determination. I'm paraphrasing, a determination, commitment, yada, 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 all that kind of stuff. Is that – it's almost like he's indirectly telling us, our team knows what we have to do. I tell them all the damn time, but we are not committed to what we need to do. Is that basically what he was saying?
Yeah, I think what he's saying is we have a way to win, and it's really, really, really hard. Everything has to come together. So for a team like Dallas to win, if 70% of the game plan is working, Kyrie and Luka will take care of it. For a team at the top like the Celtics, talent will take care of it. What he's basically saying is we don't have that talent margin to simply win it on talent. We have to be so precise. That's hard. Well, look, we even saw it last year on the run to the finals when they were up 3-0 in the Celtics and tied 3-3. Everything is the hard way for this team. This is not like Reinhardt just sitting there in the power play and he's automatically going to give you a couple of goals. This is not turning to Messi, although not lately, and saying, make sure you give us a goal in a game. The Heat don't have that. Jimmy Butler is averaging 21 points a game and is the 34th leading scorer in the NBA. When your leading scorer is 34th in the NBA, nothing is easy.
All right, follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel, or better yet, subscribe. Ira, thank you as always, my friend. Hang in there.
Catch you next week for our major play-in preview. Thanks, Big O.
You got it. That's right. Major play-in preview. I love it. I love it. All right. Oh, man. There we go. Ah, it's very nice. All right, that is our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. And don't forget that at Acura Pembroke Pines, folks, sales are always going on. They got a fleet of certified pre-owned vehicles. They've got brand new vehicles out there. They've got the Spring into Performance sales event going on right now. The 2024 Integra, you can get it for $299 a month. The RDX 2024, $419 a month. The MDX, $489 a month. And guess what? 1.9% financing for 36 months at 15601 Pines Boulevard, just off of I-75 in Pines. Tell them that Big O sent you. They'll take care of you at Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig Zinn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. Just heard from my man Jim Florentine. We'll get him on soon. Talk a little metal and a little Dolphins because he's a big Dolphins fan. Love Jim and all those guys and Eddie Trunk and all these guys from was it that metal show? Yeah, and they did something for a little bit on YouTube. I think they stopped it. I think they're trying to find a new home for it or something like that. But anyway, so it'd be good to have Jim Florentine on and talk a little Dolphins and a little metal. What else do we have here on the chat board? Oh, if the shirt don't fit, you must acquit. There you go. Big O, it will finally be 80 degrees this weekend in Illinois. I miss Miami. Damn, Abraham. Ocala Joe investing. Yes, he is. He's investing. He's a big-time investor. Jimmy Butler still had the MJ magic. We would have seen those Jim VP moments. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I'm still fighting MySpace over $4. Big O, I'm on my break at work. I get to listen to you. Thank you. It's very nice of you, dude. Oh, I missed that, Dougie. I'm sorry. Question for Ira. When you hear the word Kardashian, do you think of a woman with a disproportionate ass or OJ's attorney representing a disproportionate ass? That's very good. Don't tell me some Heat fans, Ira, that Spo has developed Jovic this season. They will say that it's his worst coaching season. Spo is too good, bro. It's just it's Jimmy, bro. The whole thing about not trying, that's a cancerous thing, bro. And that organization is not about that, dude. Yeah.
I want to ask you a question because with Jimmy Butler, we saw before he got to the Heat, he was always having those flare-ups with his teammates.
Yes.
And then I remember myself, I was always like, well, he just needs the teammates that really want to play the game.
And he's got them.
And he's got them now, but now he's the one
that doesn't want to play the game.
It's so odd to me right now. Like,
that's why
I get it. Jimmy Butler knows his body
said
too,
he was
though.
Heat culture.
Yeah.
He's not Heat culture anymore.
But I wonder also on those teams, was he picking and choosing when he wanted to play, and that's why they were kind of like.
No, I don't think so because he wasn't picking and choosing in the first couple of years here.
Yeah, true.
It's just the last 2 years of the last 2 regular seasons have not been like any of the other regular seasons.
No, you're right. You're right with that. But it's so odd to me that
his body is.
No, I know he knows his body and he understands it and everything, but it's just when you look at his progression through his career, it was always.
Yeah,
I mean, hell, what did he do? Took all the backups and beat the starters and that.
Right. But that's because he was out working.
Yeah.
He's not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
And that's been the problem. And you can't. And as I told you guys before, I've had the pleasure of watching the Miami Heat organization from inside. And I'm talking about employees, not just the basketball people. That that organization is run like no organization in town. Those people that work at the Miami Heat, they are as focused as I've ever seen. It's a culture. They really are a family. They truly give a shit about being the best at anything and everything. If it's Ed Filomila with the video stuff, if it's the dancers, whatever it is that they do, it's all top notch. And if you talk to their employees and deal with, like I have for 30 plus years, that business only accepts incredible people and workers. And then you buy into that Heat culture. You know what I'm saying? It's dude, I've never seen a place like that. Never, ever. And that's why, like, the Jimmy thing was a perfect fit the first couple of years, because he fell in line with how everybody is in that organization. I don't give a shit if you're a janitor. I don't care if you run media relations. I don't care if you're in sales. I don't care if you're serving food. I don't care what you're doing in that arena. All the Heat employees, okay? All right? The Heat employees I'm talking about. Top notch, elite people. It's weird, man. It's really, really weird, because that it's just not the MO of that organization. You know, if you were looking for a job and you wanted to work with a bunch of really good people in a great organization, you would want to work for the Miami Heat. I can tell you that. Okay? Guaranteed. You would want to work there. In any capacity, you would want to work for the Miami Heat. You know? And even if they make mistakes, like, that's why I tell you all the time that I ride and die with Riley. I'll tell you that he screws up. I'll tell you that he can't get a whale lately. Doesn't mean I'm going to bail on his ass. I'll be honest about, you know, the state of the franchise and what's going on, but that franchise is impeccable, man. This is their B game right now, and you're still getting to the finals in the Eastern Conference Finals. And it's their B game because they can't find multiple stars. And the one they have now obviously has aged. You know? Screwed up. All right, 1 hour down. Let's take a break. We are coming to you live from Hialeah Park, baby. Give me 2 minutes and back with hour number 2. Got some Dolphin stuff. Got to get into a couple of other things sports-wise all throughout. And of course, Sean Stanley mastering the program. Back with more right here on the Big O Radio Show.
Oh, I think I know what this is. Houston, we have a package. Hello?
No matter where you are, the Sloman Shield home security system guards your home. With next-gen perimeter protection, 24/7 monitoring, and interior motion sensing. And right now, get a free Sloman Shield security system and doorbell camera, all professionally installed, for free.
Shield your world, the Sloman Shield.
With more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes, Welton Rayom is committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. They handle complex personal injury claims caused by the fault of another in both state and federal courts. They handle auto, trucking, motorcycle, slip and fall, and bicycle accidents. Call 954-966-4646. That's 954-966-4646. Welton Rayom can help.
More tables, more entertainment.
When presenting an award to an employee, athlete, executive, or fantasy GM, make sure you call Orvieto's Awards and More. For 35 years, these custom award specialists have been providing plaques, trophies, custom framing, while providing state-of-the-art laser and computerized engraving, UV printing, and glass crystal etching. They do all their engraving and printing in-house for quality control. Call Charles at 305-949-8098 or visit them at orvietosawards.com. Orvieto's Awards and More, where recognition is rewarding.
Welcome to Caneswear. New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, InterMiami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
Viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc., ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. We are back. Yes. Feeling good too. I remember I told you. You remember I had an interesting start to the week, right? And so I took my blood work today. So I got to go see my heart doctor, so he can recalibrate my medicine, or maybe he won't. I don't know. I think he will, because I'm down 35 pounds. Hey, man, you know, Sean, this is the shirt I bought when I was with you in Vegas, but I couldn't wear it. This is one of the shirts that I bought to see Morrissey when I was in Vegas. We were there for the NBA Summer League. This was like 3 years ago. And we were out there for the NBA Summer League, covering it throughout the week. And so Morrissey was out there doing a residency in Caesars. So I was able to see Maz 3 times on the floor, which was great. And this is one of the shirts, which is like a really cool shirt, but I wasn't able to wear it because it was an extra large. Now it's an extra large, and it's, you know, it's bouncing around and everything. So it's pretty good, man. I get to wear my Morrissey shirt from Vegas. And it's actually a really groovy shirt. So it's good. It's good. Now I have access to a couple hundred shirts that I did not have access to. I could not wear them because I was just too fat, man. So it's pretty good to lose the weight and start wearing some of the shirts, which I know Dougie Fresh. I gotta get that Culture Club shirt and put that one on, since I'm pretty sure I can wear it. Pretty sure I can wear it. I don't know what bet I lost or something. I don't know why I'm wearing it, but something. I know that I owe the show that. So now that I physically can do it, we'll get it done. And so I didn't eat for like the last 16 hours. So after I got the blood drawn, I went right over to Chico's, and I had a palomilla and Moto and Maduro, and it was so delicious, dude. That place is so good, man. Still so good. It's been around 40 years. It's awesome. 44 years, actually. And their food is still absolutely fantastic. By the way, let's talk a little music. And Stephen Marley You got to take advantage, folks, because Stephen Marley is coming to the Seminole Casino Hotel in Immokalee. I'll be out there for that concert at the Seminole Center Outdoor, which is a really nice facility. Saturday, May 4th, he's got a new album out. It's called Old Soul. So you can go get tickets, by the way. We've got, look at right there, the QR code right there. We'll send you to the ticket center, and you can get your tickets and enjoy. By the way, Inner Circle is opening up. So bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? They do summer jamming. They'll do Mary Mary, Music Machine. So, all that kind of stuff. And Steven has won 8 Grammys. Obviously, Marley Bloodlines. So the talent is there. 45 years of jamming, 8 Grammys. This new album, by the way, Bob Weir, Eric Clapton, Jack Johnson, Ziggy Marley, all contributors to this album. And then he's also got like deep classics in this album from Ray Charles and Frank Sinatra and the Beatles. So it's a really cool mix, old soul, as it should be named. So listen, if you want to go to a great concert, you want to have a great time, Inner Circle and Stephen Marley, that is a grooving time. I'll be out there with the wife. She'll be jamming. She loves reggae and ska music, right? And so do I, of course, obviously. And but I've kind of realized, she's realized it, and I realized it. I think I realized it before she did, because I would play a lot of ska and reggae, and it just gets her going. And then I take her to reggae or ska concerts, because I'm a big ska guy, especially with the Interrupters, and she's a huge Interrupters fan. So she's going to love this. This is going to be a lot of fun. So come on out. All right, we'll be there in Immokalee having some fun, and we'll be there at the Seminole Center, which is a beautiful outdoor facility. You got Inner Circle. You got opening up for Stephen Marley, and you got to check out this album, Old Soul. So check it out on iTunes. And, of course, I'll see you there, man. Seminole Center, baby. It's a beautiful thing. All right, and use that QR code. You can also go to the Seminole website. All right, Seminole Casino Hotel in Immokalee. And you can check it out for yourself there, too, at the same time. And go, by the way, Patti LaBelle's this Sunday. There's all kinds of, concerts coming up. So check it out. Not only Stephen Marley, but you can check out some of the other concerts at the Seminole in Immokalee. All right, there you go. Enjoy. What else do we have going on in the world of sports? Oh, by the way, I want, you guys know that I'm not here for clickbait, okay? I might tell you stuff that you may not like, but I'm not telling you that I think Jimmy Butler is running out of gas because I just want to stir it up. No, I actually think, unfortunately, I think he's running out of gas. You know what I'm saying? And so I don't play that game. I don't try to do it with Tua or the Heat or whoever. It doesn't matter. I'm not here to play the drama bullshit to try to create, sensationalism and try to, get you pissed off on some topic that has nothing to do with it. But that's what they're doing to you. And so when it comes to Tua's contract negotiations, whatever you're hearing from people nationally, whatever you're hearing from people locally, whatever you're reading nationally, whatever you're reading locally, okay? Let me explain a couple things that are going on and things that are not going on. One, this isn't dragging on. Okay, so if anybody thinks it's dragging on, the process is going and it's normal. And I think I've been telling you for months. Have we not been saying for months it'll be done in June when the Xavier Howard money is available? Did we not say that? June 1st, right? So after June 1st is when that contract is coming. We've told you this over and over and over again. So for the people that think that this is dragging on, for the people that think there's differences going on and they're having issues, for the people that think that it's insulting for him not to have a contract now or whatever, or if you think they're haggling over 45 or 53 or whatever it is, none of that is going on. Okay? Right? They'll figure out the number. Doesn't matter. You guys can go argue all you want about it. And you can say he's worth 45, and the other guy can say, I don't care if they give him 55, or they give him 50, or they give him 57 or 53. You're all wasting your time. Okay? He's going to get what the market bears. Period. End of story. And he's going to get his contract, and it'll be in June when they have the money freed up. The money they have left now, didn't you see they brought in Carl Lawson? Because they're not done maybe picking up another player or two. And that's what the money they have left, which is, I believe Barry Jackson reported yesterday, was somewhere in the neighborhood of 3.1 to 3.9. That's not your money for your quarterback. And I've been telling you this for months. You know, the same people that tell you, oh, no, Wilkins will get tagged. No, he won't. Oh, no, they have to give Wilkins a contract. He's the heart and soul of the team, of the defense. I'm sorry. I heard that one too. And it's like, I get it, man. Sensationalism sells. I get it. You want to, is Tua pissed off right now that he doesn't have a contract? Is he right? Is he on the brink of holding out? Should he play hardball? It's amicable. It's going to get done. It's all going to get worked out in June. You know, at some point in that month, you're going to get it right before training camp. It'll all get done. They'll have the little press conference. Everybody will, and we'll move on. And that's it. There's no sensationalism. There's no insults. There are no fighting. There's no nothing. They're going to sign him to a contract. Okay? It will happen. So don't listen to any of the idiots nationally, locally, any of them trying to sell you that there's this something going on. Nothing is going on. This is all normal. It wasn't ever going to be announced now. It was always going to be announced after June. Okay? So just, you know, the misinformation that is out there is just, but again, they do it on purpose. You know, example, Channel 10. Okay? So they put out a tweet, reported shots fired at the Dolphin Mall, yada, 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 right? So about an hour later, it is confirmed there are no shots fired, no nothing. So I see the tweet on my timeline a couple of hours later, and I'm like, hey, Channel 10, why don't you take down this tweet? Since it's a false report, there were no shots fired. Why are you going to leave that tweet just laying there on the timeline? So somebody else runs into it a couple hours later and they read it and they say, oh, there was a shooting. And no, there wasn't actually. But, you know, let's just spread the misinformation instead. You know, the responsible thing to do is, hey, let's take down that tweet so people don't think the worst, or maybe little do you know, you might stop somebody from going to Dolphin Mall for business just because they read that tweet. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, no, yeah, I'm not going. Let's go over here instead. And they lost business because you irresponsibly left a tweet on there. You know, you're a news organization, right? You figure on your timeline, you want to keep everything that is accurate. So why do you want to leave something there that is inaccurate? You know? So Channel 10 or every other channel and newspapers or whatever, I get you got to send out a tweet to warn people, but once the warning is not real, you should take down the tweet. You know, that's what the responsible thing is. But the problem is media isn't responsible. Media is just full of clickbait bullshit. And I'm sorry, that's just not what I'm going to do. I'm just not going to do that. I have plenty to do it, bro. I have plenty of material to rip InterMiami and why they're stupid. I have plenty of material of why Jimmy Butler is not trying and it looks like his body's breaking down. I have stuff that I can create plenty of questions and drama and all kinds of stuff. And it's normal. It's real because it's happening. It's tangible. But all this other stuff is bullshit, you know? And so we're not doing that here. We're never doing that. It's just not our style. And just I want you to know that all these people that are throwing all that stuff out, they're all full of shit. Okay? Deal will get done in June. Don't worry about it. Was your biggest fall from grace in sports? What's your biggest fall from grace? Mine was Pete Rose. I like Pete Rose. That would be good because I was a big admirer of Pete Rose. And as a Phillies fan, he ended up on our team and everything back in the day. So I would go with Pete Rose. I know that OJ's one of them, but Pete was kind of in the middle of the managing stuff and all that. You know what I mean? Where OJ had been away from football already at that point. Let's see. Rest in hell, OJ. Brian says, I'm currently listening to the show in my white Bronco, driving at top speeds on the interstate while being chased by 20 cops. I will surrender when the show is over. There you go. That's what you got to do. Free the Landis. Free the Landis. Orlando, I thank you for turning me on to crypto, and I believe this is better. It does more support you will get from me. I believe in karma and passing it on. So do I, actually. I'm big on that, too. And good luck to you, Joe. We are stuck right now at 70,000. But it's funny, right? You remember we're stuck at 24,000, and we're stuck at 20, and we're stuck at 30. You get stuck for a little bit, and then it takes off again. Let's see. J-Town says, hello, y'all. Traveling and listening in as I just landed in LaGuardia and heading back home to South Carolina. There you go. Safe travels, J-Town. Big ol' Lanoid and Friends, the superb Chicago tribute band, is touring Florida this month. If you haven't seen them, it is well worth checking them out. I did. I saw them. God, I want to say I took the wife like last April. Something like that. I went to the Parker Playhouse, and I saw them. And they were very good, man. They were very entertaining. There's another band from Australia that is even better. I got to get the name of the group. But, I mean, they're good, dude. Like, really good. I forgot the name of it. I gotta get it. But I've seen them on YouTube. And they sound a lot like some of the stuff that they do. I'm brain farting now, the stuff that they do and all that. But there's another one of those bands. And they do a couple different they mimic certain bands, and they do an excellent job of it, man. Even Queen, they got like a guy that does Freddie Mercury, and he does a really good job with Freddie Mercury. Social media is more concerned with being first than accuracy. Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah. There's no need to have clickbait for InterMiami. There's always chaos and drama around them without having to make. Yeah, you don't have to make up shit with InterMiami. O.J. Simpson wrote in his book that he would have taken a bullet for Nicole. But listen, hold on a second. I do think we have to have some sympathy for OJ. Because, I mean, the man he died today, and he never found the killer. I mean, think about it. OJ died today, and he never found the killer. I know, right? Nobody can look for the killer now. I mean, poor OJ. He'll die never knowing. Just has no idea what happened. You know? It's probably what happened in his last breath. He probably asked somebody, don't stop the search. And I hope they answered right away, we found him. As he died. He died. Neil Rogers had that drop. He died. So the poor guy died and could not find the killer. And by the way, how did he know it was a killer? Could have been killers. Somehow or another, he knew it was a killer. So, you know, OJ did die with regrets. Yeah. Yep. He had some regrets. That's for damn sure. So, you can feel sorry for him in that sense. Jamming some Post Malone today. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Is that like some kind of wrestler or something? Okay, because I don't know what King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, because Dolphin Wizard is sending in about King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard. Okay. Isaiah says, well, that sucks. Imagine being killed by the person who will take a bullet for you. Exactly. It's what? It's a rock man? No shit. What, just King Gizzard or King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard? Oh, wait a minute. They must be some kind of band like he's talking, like maybe, no, but it's not the band. Are they a tribute band also? Is that what he's sending in? But it's not the one from Australia that I'm talking about. Oh, they're also from Australia. Okay, but if I hear the name, it's not that one. But they might be pretty good. Who knows? Big O, there is now a memorial coin for OJ. It says, "In glove we trust." There you go. I like it. Cato was doing bong hits when it was happening. Probably. That's what that's the noise he heard in the alley. It was Cato. Well, that whole thing, that was a trip, by the way. That was one hell of a trip. By the way, I see Cutter's Edge Pro there. I do want to tell you a little bit about William Quigley and the great people at Cutter's Edge Pro. We love talking about Cutter's Edge Pro. They are absolutely awesome. William Quigley, Mike, Ibeto, all the great people out there. They know how to get it done. And by the way, Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. So it doesn't matter where you're at in South Florida. They've got over 70 trucks. So whatever it is you need, synthetic turf. I've told you many, many times with my dogs, that is the greatest invention of mankind. You're never cutting the grass. You're never watering the grass. And it always looks perfect every single day. The easiest thing to maintain is artificial turf. And it's going to save you hundreds and thousands in the long run. So it is macro-wise, it's just an amazing investment. Call Cutter's Edge Pro 954-472-0622. Tree trimming and removals, landscape design, outdoor lighting, irrigation. They do it all, folks. HOA complexes, your business, your home. And once you add landscaping, the value explodes. So that's always good. And if you currently have some landscaping, they do the maintenance. And maybe it's not looking the way it should. Cutter's Edge Pro will give you the edge you need. Go to their Instagram page at Cutter's Edge Pro and check out a lot of the work that they've done. You'll be impressed with cuttersedgepro.com. All right. Well, we told you Dolphins yesterday brought in Carl Lawson. 27 sacks in 6 years for Carl Lawson. Now, the interesting part is his first year, his rookie year, he played a lot, and he had 8.5 sacks. And then in 18, he only had 1 sack. And in 19, he had 5 sacks. And in 20, he had 5.5 sacks. 21 didn't really play much. And then last year, 22, he had 7 sacks, or the year before last. And then last year, he did nothing because he did not play. The Jets are so loaded on defense, they did not even need Carl Lawson. And he had 7 sacks for them the year before when he played more. So it's kind of interesting with him because if he gets playing time, he actually produces for you. He's not a bad player. He's actually a good player if you give him playing time. You know, if he doesn't get any playing time like he did last year, because the Jets are incredible. They're maybe the most loaded team on D-line. Okay, I know I have to compliment the Jets, and I hate it, but I'm objective to the end. And so it's the Carl Lawson one is kind of interesting. I don't know what he's asking for, but it's kind of a perfect storm for Chris, right? Because he comes to you on a year where he did nothing. So his value lowers from the year before when he had 7 sacks. Because if he had 7 sacks last year, then he can come in and ask for more money. You know what I'm saying? So it's strategically very interesting. And a guy that if you can get him along with Shaq Barrett, now you've got a better placeholders before you, and remember, you still have the draft, which at 21, you know, who knows? You could get my UCLA kid or something, and you might bring in a young pass rusher. And maybe that's what it is. It's they're trying to find one more pass rusher before the draft or protect themselves in a way. So just in case there's a tackle there that they really love, they say, okay, no, well, Carl and Shaq can hold us off till we get Phillips and Chubb back, and then we've got ourselves a really nice rotation of defensive ends and pass rushers and things like that. But I do like the Carl Lawson a visit, and I wouldn't mind the addition because it's kind of the addition you want. And let me tell you, he's also been a pro's pro in the sense because he's gone through his moments where he's playing and he doesn't play. And you don't really hear about him creating a stink or anything like that. So professionalism looks like it might be part of his game too. Carl Lawson, not a bad choice if they go that way to bring in another pass rusher. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Let's get to our 3A Graphics sports calendar. And it's the Mavs last night dominating the Heat 111-92. The two stars on the court were Kyrie and Doncic. Miami had nothing. Friday, they will take on Toronto here at the Kaseya Center, by the way. Back-to-back games against Toronto to end the season. Tyler did have 21 points, and Kevin Love had 18. On the pitch, InterMiami was thoroughly embarrassed by Monterrey and eliminated from the CONCACAF Champions Cup with a 3-1 win as Monterrey crushes InterMiami and Messi. In fact, Jordi Alba got even booted from that game with a red card. They look bad. Saturday, by the way, they're at KC at 8:30. Messi going to play? Probably not. And the Marlins actually ended up picking up a win in the final game of the 3-game set against the Yankees, 5-2. Jake Berger on his birthday hit his third home run of the year, a 3-run shot. They are off today. Friday, they will take on the Braves. Chris Sale and Trevor Rogers, 7:10 first pitch at Lone Depot. Help the Marlins with some cash park. Oh, and by the way, tonight at Amerant Bank Arena, Columbus is taking on your Florida Panthers. That is your 3A Graphics sports calendar. Call Alan Blanco, Custom Printing and Embroidery, 786-618-1443. All right. And by the way, why don't you pull out a Victory cigar? Because I can't give the Heat a Victory cigar. I can't give InterMiami a Victory cigar. Holy shit. We're giving the Marlins over the Yankees? No? Give them a Victory cigar. Jake Berger hit a home run on his birthday. Give him a
but he didn't even give me a Whopper Jr. because there's an away game. It's not at home.
Yeah, no, that's true. That's true.
Way to go, Burger.
But you did get a burger. It was just a home run burger.
Big crap burger.
It was a crap burger. There you go. There you go. I was shocked they won that last game. They're 2-10? Yeah, bro. They're road warriors is what they are. Let's see. Whoa. Interesting. My wife just sent me this. So Monday, when I had that episode, and I normally fast, right? And I'm several hours without eating. I normally have my regular medication that I eat that I have every day, which never affects me whatsoever. But I had the cold, right? So I took that medicine that my wife got for me. That again, it's made for people like me with high blood pressure and all that good stuff. And then I had that episode. You know what I had eaten that morning? The only thing I ate that day was a banana. My wife just sends me a text now. Why you should not eat a banana on an empty stomach. Bananas are packed with sugars, which is why eating them on an empty stomach can cause a sudden spike in blood sugar levels. This can lead to fatigue, headaches, and other problems. And especially diabetics, they are asked not to start your day with a banana. Okay? So, how about that? I did not know that. Did not know that. Interesting. If you don't know what happened to me, you might want to go to Tuesday's show and the beginning of Tuesday's show, the first 10 minutes, and I explain it. It was some scary shit. What happened to me on Monday, if you didn't watch Monday's show, because Monday's show only lasted 22 minutes, because I was done, dude. I was toast. That's all I can tell you. What happened? What are we talking about? He says, I'm willing to pay more attention with your pod now that you've cut a lot of the ads out before your cast. We play the same amount, do we play 5 minutes? And it has nothing to do with the show. What does that have to do with the show? You know you can just fast forward. What's wrong with you, dude? The hell is wrong with you? What kind of reasoning is that? That has the commercials have nothing to do with the show. Mathematics just tells you he plays 5 minutes before the 3 o'clock hour or 10 a.m. because that gives people time to get on. That's kind of what it is, to build the momentum, dude. During the show, we may play 2 minutes at the top of each hour, and I talk for 58. What the fuck are you talking about, dude? What are you talking about? The commercials go on when I'm on. Do you see them above me? Those are the real commercials. I take a 2-minute break at the top of the hour because I'm a human being that just spoke for 58 straight minutes. What are you talking about, dude? I will go an hour and a half or 2 hours without even taking a break sometimes. Some people, bro, are not really very bright. This guy makes it sound like I'm a radio show or something, that I was breaking every 10 minutes with a 6-minute commercial break or something. What are you watching, dude?
We'll be right back.
Holy shit, dude.
You're talking about the ads before the show, like
the ads before. That's like the idiots say, "Oh, I don't want any kneeling during my football game." Moron, they're doing it in pregame. They're not doing it in the first quarter. Not doing it in the second. They're not doing it at halftime. They're not doing it in the third or the fourth. So we play 5 minutes before the 3 hours start or 2 hours start. And this moron is complaining about that. Still want to watch? Anyway. Bananas contain sugars and carbs, but it is rich in fiber and has low glycemic index. Diabetics can eat bananas, but in moderation. Yeah, but it's the whole empty stomach thing. That's why she sent it to me, because that was the only thing I put in my stomach at that morning, actually. And then I had the episode. So it's kind of like funky that she brought it up. So my wife is like always on top of everything. She's like researching shit all the time, dude. Rosendo says, rule 1, do not tell the host how to run the show. Yeah, that's very true. Big O 420 is coming. I will be toast. Well, that's what I expect. Big O, my bad, Big O. I should warn people. I mean, you know. Anyways. Oh, any thoughts on some eye candy for a co-host to give your voice some rest? No. None. I've been a solo guy for 34 years. Don't need anybody. I'm good. I can drive a show. I can talk. I got plenty of subjects I can talk about, plenty of things I can talk about. I don't need help. I don't mind bringing on interviews and having some guests and all that kind of stuff. But a co-host, nah.
Dude, 67, stop watching the show.
Get me a co-host that can produce money. Okay, then we're good. Maybe I could do that. But if you don't bring any juice, what am I going to bring somebody on? New? What, then I got to carry them too? No, it's all good, dude. No. So, it's all good. It's all good. I'm fine on my own. I've done very well on my own. I don't really need help to do a talk show. Am I crazy for wanting the Celtics round one? I feel like the Heat need a challenge and motivation to get themselves together. Well, I think I think it's Butler that needs the motivation to get himself together. You saw what the kids did yesterday, right? They made the comeback without Butler. They're the ones that cut it to 8. It's just they're not good enough. That's all. So, anyway, what else do we have going on? Bro, did you see this thing with Terrell Suggs? This is like nuts. So, Terrell Suggs apparently is accused. Okay, now, again, I don't know what's true or not because people instigate players all the time or ex-players and, put them in difficult situations and all that. So Terrell Suggs has issued a statement regarding his arrest. According to documents, Suggs was arrested due to an incident at Starbucks on March 10th that began when he backed up his car after passing the store's drive-through speakers. Suggs allegedly made contact with another man's vehicle, which reportedly did not do any damage, but touched off an extended argument that ended with Suggs saying he'd kill the other man and showing a handgun through his car window. Those documents note that the gun was never pointed at the other man, but still felt threatened and filed police reports. Suggs released a statement to TMZ saying he felt he was at risk during the situation. I was in a quiet area of Scottsdale in the middle of the day in a Starbucks drive-thru near my home when an incident happened with a vehicle behind me. I was getting coffee. I was not looking for any trouble. When the man in the other vehicle escalated the situation, I feared for my safety, not knowing what his intentions were. Throughout the incident, I was the one who felt in danger, while fearing I would only be followed home and for the safety of my family nearby my residence. Now, again, I don't know who's at fault here. I don't know, what's the deal going on with them or whatever. Here's the only thing, if this happened. Terrell Suggs is in a car or he gets out of a car or whatever. Why are you trying that guy? I mean, you got to be a really tough hombre if you see Terrell Suggs on the street and you want to just test him. Because I would guarantee you that even in a car, seeing him from the chest up, he's got to be big.
It also makes you wonder who the person was. Because if Terrell Suggs says he was worried.
Now, Terrell Suggs could be full of shit and he just wants to protect himself and he really wasn't worried, but he's got to say that, you know what I mean? So, but again, he doesn't know who that other guy is. He could be
exactly.
He could be
you
a
don't
crazy,
know.
but I mean,
and that guy had to get out of his car though, because if he walks up to the window and that's where he puts the gun
right
out, Suggs, I believe in the story said Suggs put the gun out the window
or showed it
or whatever through the window.
So either
I mean, Suggs stayed in the car. The other guy got out.
Yeah. Or Suggs and him were outside and then, but it's just like when Terrell Suggs, like, dude, I'm not challenging Terrell Suggs. Yes, sir. No, hey, no, you didn't do anything in my car, bro. We're good. We're good. Have a great day, dude. Enjoy your Starbucks. What person in their right mind wants to get into any kind of an argument with Terrell Suggs? That's like, again, I don't know really what happened. I don't know really who's at fault. But if there's any way that guy was instigating, and maybe he's trying to bait him also because he wants to get a lawsuit or some crap, who knows?
I'd say if I'm Terrell Suggs, I sue Starbucks for not placing the machine in the proper spot. I mean,
well, no, he passed the speaker, so he was backing up, and then that's when.
So it wasn't in the proper spot.
And then the other guy,
Terrell Suggs.
Well, yeah,
takes Terrell Suggs a little bit of time. I mean, I'm sure. What is he driving?
I don't know. That's a good
Terrell
question.
Suggs in a Mitsubishi Eclipse.
I doubt he's in a little car.
I don't know.
I doubt he's in a Fiat.
Oh, that would be great.
You know, I doubt it. Remember, you can make a donation through Cash App or Venmo at Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show, Cash App or Venmo. Appreciate all of you out there. Where are we at right now with Bitcoin? 70,600 and 542 now. So it's been stuck there in that high 69, 70,000 area. Now, you know how it is. You guys have been following this for a while. It'll test and retest and test and retest its all-time highs, and then eventually glass ceiling breaks through, and the rest is history. But I am not challenging Terrell Suggs. Sue Starbucks for putting controlled substances in their coffee. Sean, I've got your back. You are not eye candy. You are eye candy. There you go. My 3 favorite guitarists as a guitarist, Tony Iommi, Eric Clapton, and Angus Young. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. What else do we have? Well, you know what? So let's do a little birthdays. Let's do a little entertainment and musica. How about that? Let's go with B-Days first. All right. Who's celebrating birthdays today? And get any questions out if you got any. Let's see. Dolphins, Marlins, Panthers, Heat, Inter. I doubt you have any Marlins questions. You got one, huh? Let's see. A lot of these people, I don't know who they are. Ken Carson is a rapper. He's 24. I don't know who he is. Summer Walker, R&B singer, 28. I don't know who she is. Suicide Christ is a rapper, 35. I don't know who he is. Josh Bruckner, MMA fighter, 29. I don't know who he is either. So far, nobody that I know is celebrating a birthday. There are wrestlers today. Dustin Rose, 55. Says it here. Dele Ali, soccer player, is 28. This is a weak day today, bro. Not a lot of Joss Stone, the soul singer, is 37. And you could give me those wrestlers because we're done.
The great, one of the greatest, to me, NWA heavyweight champions, Harley Race. Most people know him in the WWE as the King, Harley Race, and then the chair swinging freak from ECW, Balls Mahoney. They were celebrating birthdays.
All right.
Harley Race passed away already.
How old is Balls Mahoney, or he's dead?
72. I want to say that he just passed away recently. Hold on a minute.
Balls Mahoney. That's a great name for a wrestler. I would be picking that guy every AEW Wednesday if Frankie was asking me that. Anyway, music history today on April 11th. Okay.
He passed away in 2016. I apologize.
Oh, okay. So he's no longer with us. Okay, let's go with music history. 1961 on this day, Bob Dylan played his first live gig in New York City. He opened up for John Lee Hooker at the Gerd Folk City. Pretty good. In 2014, Nirvana, Kiss, Hall & Oates, and Peter Gabriel were among those inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. In 66, Buffalo Springfield, the group that helped the launch career of Neil Young, Stephen Stills, Richie Furay, and Jim Messina, made their live debut at the Troubadour in Hollywood. In 81, Eddie Van Halen married Valerie Bertinelli, star of One Day at a Time, and my crush, by the way. Boy, did I have a crush on Valerie Bertinelli back in the day from One Day at a Time. Oh, I watched that show religiously just for Valerie. Whew. Smoke show. 67 on the way back from visiting the Beach Boys. Smile Sessions. Paul McCartney dreamt up of the idea for the film. The magical mystery tour is waiting to take you away. In 92, Pearl Jam appeared on Saturday Night Live on this date. In 77, Alice Cooper played in Sydney in front of 40,000 fans at the time, the biggest rock show in Australia's history. After the gig, he was placed under house arrest at his hotel because the promoter claimed he paid the shock rocker for a 75 Australian tour. Alice never did. The two settled after it was discovered the promoter also broke the agreement they made. In 94, Oasis released their first single, Supersonic. It would go on to be their first charting single in America, peaking at number 11 on the Billboard Modern Rock charts. In 70 on this date, Peter Green quit Fleetwood Mac while on tour in Germany. However, a void of breach contract, he agreed to finish the trek. In 81 on this date, Hall & Oates' Kiss on My List started a 3-week run on the singles charts at number 1. In 2002, in the desert outside of Las Vegas, Kid Rock proposed to former Mrs. Tommy Lee, Pamela Anderson. There was a lot of shit that happened today in music history, bro. Holy crap. So the MLS is now going to have the Jorge Mas rules. How about that? Jorge Mas has changed the way the MLS is being constructed. So the MLS now, according to sources, have told ESPN that the Board of Governors approved changes to the league's roster rules on Tuesday, designed to allow teams more flexibility in how rosters are constructed, sources confirmed to ESPN. Among the changes approved were the first reported by The Athletic, are relaxing the restrictions of the combined number of designated players and under 22 initiative signings. Other changes, including doubling in the number of contract buyouts allowed per season, as well as increasing the amount of general allocation money teams receive when players are transferred out of the league. Another change that's been discussed, a so-called Legends rule that would have allowed teams flexibility in retaining longtime veterans, was not included in the final package of the roster rule modifications. A source with knowledge of the proposed rule told ESPN that continued discussions will take place with the MLS and competition groups. With the U.S. co-hosting the 2026 World Cup in Canada and Mexico, Lionel Messi's contract with Inter ending in 2025, MLS has been facing increased calls to open its collective checkbook in a bid to increase the level of play on the field and capitalize on greater attendance on the league. The coming months will reveal how effective these changes are. You know, when I first started working with InterMiami, that was Moss's vision, to make the MLS Serie A, to make it the Premiership, to make it the Bundesliga, to make it one of the premier leagues in the world, and the MLS is not. But the only way you're going to do that is by spending the money. And the difference now than 20 and when I was a kid 40 years ago, the general public and even kids nowadays, they know international soccer. They follow the big clubs. They know the big names. So if you bring them here, every stadium in the country will be jam-packed. Attendance for soccer here will become one of the biggest numbers in the country, bigger than most of our pro sports. But people aren't stupid. They know when you're bringing a guy in that's old, but you start bringing in younger stars, and stars are like all over the league, then your attendance numbers, your jersey sales, your suite sales, your ad revenue, it is going to go through the roof. So you will be able to bring in the revenue you need in order to pay for these people. But you're going to have to increase your stadiums, because that, you know, the 25, 35,000 seat stadium is just not going to be enough anymore. You're going to have to be pushing 50 and 60 constantly. And you're going to need, you know, several hundred suites. That's just the new style of building that's going to come will be different than what you're building now. because what you're building now is not going to be feasible to pay for those kind of salaries. So you've got to build a much bigger stadium with way more amenities and way more suites where you make your money, way more elite seats. But it's interesting that it's taken, what is this, their fifth year now? Or sixth? No, fifth year, right? I want to say it's their fifth year. We were there for 2, and then I think it's been 3 now since. Something like that. But either way, within a 5-year span, Moss has gotten them influenced enough to say, yeah, we got to open up the checkbooks. Yeah. So, yeah, this is their 5th year. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. And good for you people out there that love soccer, because you're going to see a sport that's just going to get better because they're going to go buy more talent. Makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. What else do we have going on in the world? Oh, by the way, you saw Kyrie Irving made $1 million yesterday because he played 50 games or something like that, and then his team won 50 games. And he had to play a certain amount of games, too. So he played the certain amount of games, and they won the 50 games. And so the Heat actually helped Kyrie Irving make $1 million. That's really nice on the Heat's part. That's so accommodating.
Maybe that's what happened. Maybe he cut Jimmy a little piece.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah. Or maybe he just bought
Jimmy getting bonuses, not playing.
He bought some shares of Big Face Coffee or something. The Powerball jackpot, by the way, will be worth an estimated $46 million after 0 players matched all 6 numbers of the $34 million drawing last night. 6, 7, 12, 24, 36, and Powerball number 15. So it climbs, and you will get an opportunity to win. Do you see what Kiss did, by the way? They sold their catalog of music, their name and likeness, for $300 million. I don't think that's a lot of money.
There was something in the art where they didn't. It's still a collaboration somehow.
Yeah, but I mean, still, they still don't own their music anymore, and some of these bigger bands, obviously bigger names, have sold for a lot more. I thought Kiss would go for a lot more because of the marketing stuff that comes behind it too. Because Kiss's marketing is, it's better than most, man. They sell like crazy. Let's see. Yeah, it reminds me of when somebody wanted to challenge Mike Tyson. Yeah, I'm right. It's just like that guy got his ass kicked, and I was so happy watching that guy get his ass kicked. J-Town says, imagine if Grayscale stopped selling, we'll be near 100K. They only sold like 30-something million yesterday. So we'll see if maybe finally they're getting to that point. We don't have the Celsius drop also, because Celsius and FTX also had stuff in Grayscale that they had to sell. But yeah, once that outflow is gone, the fact that we're still in the 70 area with all that outflow, it tells you where it's at. You get it. Salma or Hallie would be both guaranteed for 2 ratings points each. I'm going 10 plus. Big O, let me ask you a dumb question that I just can't wrap my head around. I know Bitcoin is a math problem or problems being solved. How is that a value like gold or silver? I don't get it. Okay. All right. So Bitcoin is what you're doing when you mine the coin, okay, and you mine the block of coins, right? You solved a mathematical problem to get the coin. Okay? So now you own the entire coin, or it goes into an exchange, and then people start either buying pieces of the coin or the whole coin or half a coin or a quarter of a coin or whatever it is. So it is currency. Okay? And so Computing is value in this world. And that's what you got to understand. Computing power is value. Hash rate is power in this world. It's value because it allows you to, make transactions and make a living and put people to work and all those kind of things. And then this is a way of creating a currency, right, that cannot be duplicated at all. There's only one of them, and there's only 21 million of them. And so your question is, so how's it different from gold and silver? You will continue to mine gold and silver. You continue to find more gold hundreds of years later. You don't stop mining gold. So how can the value truly increase over time? I've shown you, how many times have I shown them that gold has hung around 2,000 for years? Doesn't move much. In the last 12, 13 years, it's moved no more than $400. Huh? Yeah, I showed it on Tuesday. And I've showed you that graph because when people bring up gold, and silver is the same thing. So the difference is now Satoshi came up with a currency, okay? And remember, all currency is digital. It may look like money in your pocket, but don't you have it digitally in your bank, in your credit cards, in your money market accounts, right? So we've been dealing with digital currency forever. In fact, it's now no longer worth printing coins. You lose money printing coins now. And then dollars obviously die out eventually. They wear out and you got to recollect them and burn them and all that kind of stuff and then replace them. And what are they doing? They're all going to digital currency. They're going to CBDCs eventually. Especially the Dems. They're dying to screw us over with that stuff. So this is why it's hard for people to wrap their heads around a credit card. Wait a minute, this plastic is money? How does that, that's how it was back in the day. Wait a minute, I'm going to write a check? What? What are these numbers and what am I doing? And so everything's an adjustment to it. But don't allow this to confuse you because it's no different than everything in the past. It's just now more convenient. Now it's not going to dirty your hands. Now you really have it in a digital wallet. Now you can move it no matter how many sums of it. You can't move $1 billion of gold. What are you going to do? Go hire Wells Fargo and several trucks and, then you've got Marky Mark and company trying to track you and steal the gold from you? Can't do that anymore. We're going to bite the gold and see if it's real. That's the shit that happened 1,000 years ago. We're not doing that anymore. You know what I mean? So you've been dealing in digital currency forever. There's no difference now. The difference is you split stocks, you print more money, you do everything to devalue currencies all over the world. You mine more gold, you mine more silver, which devalues it because if there's more, value goes down. Well, they figured out a currency you cannot multiply. You cannot do anything to it. It is set, period, end of story. It is immutable. It is not reprogrammable. So that's where your money goes and it stays and it gains in value instead of it going to other places and losing value. So that's where it's at. You know what I mean? And that's why don't be fooled by the mathematical process to acquire the coin. Okay? Because that's where it becomes difficult for the machine. It has to figure out a mathematical problem that you and I could never do on paper. And it's constantly doing that. And it can't be hacked. Do you know how you can, how you have to hack Bitcoin? There's been trillions already of transactions. You would have to get to the first transaction that ever happened to decipher that code to then decipher the next trillion after that. Impossible. And there's thousands of computers that are solving the mathematical problem, and then also what's it called, confirming the mathematical problem. So it's a perfect system that Satoshi created, and this is why these countries, this is why these governments, this is why certain entities are frustrated, because they can manipulate and control your ass like they've done for hundreds of years. Now they can't control us. Now they can't control our money. Now they can't reprint it, or Amazon can't tell you we're splitting the stock. Oh, we're printing, our last 4 presidents have printed $30 trillion. I told you gold hasn't gone up in years. It barely moves. $400 in 12, 13 years is shit. Seriously. You bought it for $2,000, it's $2,400 now, 13 years later. Congratulations, dude. Congratulations. You went nowhere. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep finding more gold, how can it increase in value? If you keep finding more silver, how can it increase more value? If you keep printing more dollars, how can it increase in value? Our last 4 presidents have printed $30 trillion. Besides the money that was already out on the street, they printed 30 trillion. There's only 21 million Bitcoin. Do the math. So, and here's the other thing that I would suggest, who asked that, Jules, go to YouTube and what is Bitcoin? And just check out videos and learn. And then that will convince you. That's why I keep telling you all, please learn about Bitcoin, and you won't get caught up in this Democrat Republican bullshit that these phonies back and forth are using you as a, they got the pool cue, and you're the ball getting hit back and forth all over the place. When you find out about Bitcoin and you learn exactly what's going on, and then you learn about our banking industry, and you learn about fractionalized banking and all the things that go into it, and you learn about that we're adding $1 trillion of debt every 100 days, you will know that everything is irreversible. You will understand that our dollar will eventually completely crumble. They can only put it off for so long, and they're about to print more money later on this year because they have no choice. So they're going to put more money out on the street. Learn, and you'll drop the politics. You'll rip both like I do. You won't believe any of them, and you'll actually be better off for your future and your family. Not a financial advisor, but I wish you all would look into it a little bit more. Oh, have you ever listened to Rodriguez, old Latin rocker from the early 70s? No, I have not. I'll check it out. Chase 1 is in. I'm finding it impossible to remain a Marlins fan. It's not your fault, dude. It's not our faults. It's them. So it's not you, dude. You love baseball. You want to watch it. So do I. And they're just depressing. It's not on you, dude. There's nothing wrong with you. I just don't want to be left holding the wait, hold on a second. That's a great point. I'm glad you brought that up. The people that are buying Bitcoin now, they're so freaking rich. They're not buying this dump. They're buying and they're going to hold it. They're going to own it. They're going to pass it on to their kids. They don't sell Amazon stock and Microsoft. They don't sell Berkshire Hathaway. They hold on to those stocks and pass it on to their loved ones. That's what they do. They pass on their gold, they pass on their silver, and now they're going to pass on the Bitcoin. So you will not be left holding the bag. It's impossible to be left holding the bag. I'm not a financial advisor. But when every fiat currency in the world is failing, every federal bank in the world is having incredible amounts of trouble with their own deficits. Japan, China, Russia, England, it doesn't matter, dude. They're all failing or have already failed, like Colombia and Argentina and Brazil. These people are in catastrophic problems. Turkey, are you kidding me? The lira is worth nothing. So the people that are getting behind it now are the most powerful and the richest people in the world. It's the same thing in the stock market. You're not going to be left holding the Tesla bag because they're not selling it. Or Amazon or Microsoft or whatever, they're not selling it. So the same way you can feel great about buying an Apple stock and they're not selling it, the same way you can feel about Bitcoin. They're not selling it. The people that are going to sell it are going to be you and me, that if it goes to a certain number, we don't affect the world. These people are buying thousands of Bitcoin daily. The average person can't afford half a Bitcoin, a quarter of a Bitcoin. They're buying thousands daily. The math will tell you where we're going. It's gone up from, it went down to 16 and it went back up to 73. It's now hanging around 70. Just think about that. You had all the idiots thinking that when it was at 67 last time around, oh, that's it, it went down and never go back up again because they don't know anything. The only people you hear negative shit about Bitcoin are the people that are uneducated and have no idea what's really going on. That's the only people that talk bad about Bitcoin. The other people that talk bad about Bitcoin, like Elizabeth Warren or some, they have an agenda. That's different. They're doing it from evil purposes. Biden, Yellen, Warren, Gensler, these people are evil when they talk about Bitcoin because they know they can't control it and they can't control you. So you will not be left holding the bag. In fact, you're going to regret you're not holding a bag. Every one of you is going to regret because there's only 21 million and there's 8 billion of you. Math says lots of people aren't going to have it. I'm just telling you. So do as you please. Think about it the way you want. And it's all good. All I can tell you is I've made everybody that has gone after me over the last couple of years look completely wrong. So, because they don't get it. They don't understand it. Ocala Joe, thank you for the love on Cash App. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you, thank you. Very nice of you. Cash App or Venmo, Cash Big O Show. That is Cash Big O Show. Cash App or Venmo. And can't wait till this thing jumps to like 80. I'm going to show you what we invested during this dip. Okay? You guys are going to freak out. You're going to see the growth. Because people tell me, oh, it's too late to get. No, dude, it's not even close to late. It's fantastic. Get in. If you're holding it forever, it doesn't even matter when you buy it. You know, some people, I love it. We'll have some dummies sometimes, and then we'll have some people that freaking get it and are intelligent. Chase One has the right attitude. Don't ever stop buying. And the dollar is in a never-ending dip. Dude, that is great. Dollar's lost 20% since 2020. So your dollar's 80 cents now. You know. All right, we're out of here. We thank Ira Winderman as always, Steve Calabro, all the great people out here at Hialeah Park. Sean Stanley, the man, the myth, the legend. We will see you all tomorrow morning, right? So we're in studio, right? What is it? The 11th? Are we at Acura? Is it the 2nd? Is it? All right. So, because we have 2 more Fridays. I don't know. So it is. So tomorrow we are at Acura. So tomorrow we're at Acura, 10 a.m., baby. No? Well, we're at Acura tomorrow? All right, he's the boss. We're at Acura tomorrow, and we thank everybody out here as always at Hialeah Park, the Brunetti family. Thank you as always. We'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place, same bat channel.